them away from the reality of life. The government would like to remind children about the severity of their crimes and give them the responsibility for their actions. Before I go to my issues, I'd like to clarify something. They all said that they had alternatives instead of prosecuting them, but they never named the alternatives. And even though they didn't name the alternatives, we already pre-entered their argument and shot their alternatives down. And my first issue is which paradigm is more harsh. Under our paradigm, children will learn full consequences according to the weight of their crimes. The opposition side said that this is unfair for the children to be sent to prison for minor crimes like stealing, but a crime is still a crime and they will still be prosecuted for that. And children who commit repeated minor crimes will be given a minor sentence as long as they're still prosecuted. And if the boy who admitted to killing his family, he can plead insane. In status quo, a lot of criminals plead insane so they can go to asylum instead of getting prosecuted or hanged in death sentence. It's a totally different thing from a guilty child who has willingly committed a crime. Victims of the current and next generation will be at lesser risk because the children are educated properly in prison because they're reflected and they were actually prosecuted. Teaching them about the proper consequences of their actions, and the prison will teach them the proper consequences of their actions. And the prison will make a bigger impact on the children, and because it is direct. And under their paradigm, they refuse to prosecute children because they think that children are naive and just want to avoid discrimination against children. Because they think children don't have a mindset of their own, and they don't know what is good for them, and they don't understand the law. But is there actually any justification that the parents never actually taught them the real law and never actually taught them that killing is bad? No, there is no justification, and it never said there was any justification for that. We want to tell you that discrimination already exists in status quo, and when the kids go to juvenile, so discrimination is not mutually exclusive. They only do that to avoid any crimes and plead insane. Even though children may be naive, we need to teach them that severe actions need severe consequences, and after they've been warned. They made their own choice to murder someone, and even though we warned them not to do it again, they did it again and brought this upon themselves, and they wanted to get prosecuted because they asked for it and murder someone again, or even maybe steal again. So our conclusion for my first issue is that they should go to jail because prosecuting can actually make a direct impact on them, and they can actually learn the real consequences of life, and they would not make actually a bad example for the society. I'm them contradicting themselves, saying that children have a very bad mindset, that they cannot actually help themselves. They're very weak. Their parents never taught them. No, there is no justification. Thank you. My second issue is which solution is actually better. The opposition has not given an alternative to us, like I said before. So we will say they are doing either nothing or all the alternatives we propose, which we already have disclosed. Because doing nothing or the other alternatives don't have as big an impact on the child as prosecution. Because their alternatives, they said, we have other alternatives instead of prosecuting them. They never gained a single alternative. So if these children get prosecuted, they can learn consequences of murdering someone. They already repeated the crime many times, and they think they can get away simply with just murdering many people because they think they're child. The people will go easier than no. They are murderers. They are just another person who murdered someone, and we will not take this lightly because other criminals who are not kids, they were punished. But why are these kids not punished? What if they murder more than the other criminals who are punished and they are older than the kid? That is certainly not fair because these kids deserve the punishment because they murdered someone and this victim's life was taken just simply like that. What if they were loved by many? No, that is not fair. And my third issue is under which paradigm is status quo actually going to improve? Opposition questioned that what crime did they commit? Stealing or murder is still a crime. They said stealing is okay. They just stole some bag of potato chips, stole something from the store they wanted. No, it is still a crime. You actually stole something that rightfully belonged to the store that people wanted to buy. So it is actually still considered a crime, and you can't actually take that lightly because they still set a bad example to society and they continue stealing. Opposition also said that they might be a kid and confused with law. And like I said before, is there any justification that the kid was never taught the law by their parents? Their parents might have taught them the law, but they just continue to ignore the law because they think they're a kid and they can just get scot-free away with it by killing someone. And then because they think they're a kid, we're not going to get prosecuted because we are kids and then they get like punished they want to improve status quo, but they do not want to protect children. How are you going to improve status quo by not prosecuting a child if you want them to reflect? It is not possible at all. And they said the mind will not be fully developed by the age of 18. But is that justification? People at the age of 18 are quite very mature and they know the rights of going to jail because their parents have taught them before. And if opposition claims that they do not have the right mindset, then people who are 18 years old right now should be just rightfully considered a child and should just go back to kindergarten. And if in the POI they said it is the parents' consequences, but why? Like our DPM said before, it is still the murder's consequences by the end of the day because they murder the victim themselves and their parents do not say, oh, you go murder that person, I hate that person. But no, the child decided to murder the victim themselves. The parents were not involved at all. And how can opposition say that by the end of the day, the parents deserve to get the punishment instead of the child because the child is just really innocent and their mindsets are not so mature just yet and they don't know the law. And like I said before, they try to give an alternative. They never give an alternative. And even if they give their alternative is good, we already shot that down long time ago. Opposition also gave an example of teacher beating a student and the teacher will be prosecuted. How is that related to this? In this situation, the child murdered someone, not say the teacher killed someone. When the teacher killed someone, they actually didn't murder the child. But in this situation, the child actually murdered someone. And they also ask what we are trying to do. But let me answer that question for you. We are trying to set a direct impact on the kid by prosecuting them so they can reflect properly in jail and they can set a better example for society. Unlike what they said, if the child doesn't go to jail, they can actually set a proper example for society. No, we do not think that, and with that, I probably propose.